As we check the starting goaltenders, brought to you by Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames. Two goalies who are going red hot right now. We start with Jonas Hiller between the pipes for Calgary. He goes back-to-back for the first time this season, leads the league in goals against average, second in save percentage, and he stopped 117 of his last 120 shots faced over 4 starts. At the other end, Pekka Rinne battled injuries all last season. He has the 5th best goals against average in the league and the 6th best save percentage as he starts for the 9th time in 10 games for Nashville this season. Johnny Gaudreau was very good against Montreal last game. Kelly just the 1 assist, but boy, he did a lot of creative things defensively. It's going to be tough against a very good defensive team tonight. As Gaudreau and company start this game for Calgary, we're underway at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Paul Byron playing center ice tonight with all the injuries up front for Calgary. Puck dumped in, Rinne out of the goal to play it himself off the glass to the line and out. Englund can't keep it onside.
Yeah, you're right, Rick. This is going to be a tough game for Flames forwards. This is an excellent Predators defense, very mobile, and they have some tough guys as well.
Giordano at center ice. He had a goal last game, fires it on goal. Rinne gloves that, keeps the play alive. Josi will feed it up the boards. Give it away to Glencross, though, on the high slot. Here's Giordano. Will he shoot? Takes his time. Now he gets a shot away and whistles that wide on the glove side. Kept onside at the right point by Brody, but not for long as the Preds get control. And Philip Forsberg works the puck through center and chips it in as Nashville makes a change on the fly. Forsberg on the forecheck, bumping with Giordano behind the net. Battle in the corner. Puck comes free. There's Ribeiro back to the point, but Ekholm had moved over and the puck goes out the center. Ryan Ellis controls. Lead pass tipped ahead. Ribeiro plays it across the Calgary blue line. They're going to blow that dead on the offside as we check our keys to the game. Brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting.
Well, we know how great the Predators' defense is, and especially Shea Weber, so make him work. Don't make it easy for him. He's going to play 25 to 30 minutes, and for the Predators, continue to attack. They had a really good game in Edmonton. Lots of offensive chances. Continue that momentum, and boy, were they firing that puck around this morning in practice, weren't they, Rick?
Here comes Monahan over the line with a shot. Glove saved by Rinne, who hangs on for a face-off.
It's a good idea to get pucks to the net. You never know, even though you're playing against one of the best goaltenders in the entire world. Put pucks to the net, especially early. Bit of a screen there through the legs of Ekholm, so Sean Monahan gets a pretty decent chance there, and Pekka Rinne holds on for a face-off.
So Sean Monahan, the most experienced natural center playing in this game for Calgary tonight with all the injuries up front for the Flames coming into this game and lacking depth down the middle, but we'll see what they can produce offensively tonight against a very good defensive team, as you mentioned, Kelly. There's Bourque able to clear the zone to center ice. Gaustad takes a hit from Ferland out there for his first National Hockey League shift. Battle behind the net. Weidman chips the puck up the boards. Granlund doesn't get there. Jones able to pinch and get control down low for Gabriel Bourque. He can't corral the puck, and Ferland will bring it out to center ice. Knocked off his stick by Seth Jones. Here goes Bourque down the right side with Nystrom. Broken up by Granlund, but kept in by Gaustad. Paul Gaustad cuts up front with a shot. Hiller makes his first save. Loose puck goes wide, and it's controlled by Weidman to Hoodler, who clears the zone to center ice.
What a power move by Paul Gaustad. Took that puck hard to the net.
Weber down the wing. Shoots wide. Puck bounces to Cullen on the far side. He tries to cut out front. Nothing doing around Weidman, who knocks the puck away and feeds it ahead to Lance Baumel, who's watched the cage. First time since the injury in Nashville that he's gotten rid of that cage to the visor here tonight.
I like that he's wearing the visor. I think his mom's pretty happy, too, from earlier reports we heard.
He suggested to us about a week ago that he's probably going to go full-time to the visor after that incident in Nashville where he went face first into the boards. Bob Hartley been encouraging him to do it with the way he plays, too, Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cullen trying to catch up to a loose puck. Brody beats him to it. Giordano will feed it ahead, and it's tipped deep by Bollig, who heads off on a change. Approaching the 3-minute mark of a scoreless first period, 1 shot apiece. Ryan Ellis takes his time. Long lead pass intercepted at center ice by Englund. Englund over the line, chips it in. Setoguchi throws a hit on Ellis in the corner. Puck is controlled by the Predators. They're able to clear the zone. Won't go far enough for icing. Back on the forecheck, beaten to it. As the puck's chopped around by Schmid. Ahead to Gaudreau. Coughed it up. His pass deflected off a skate. They keep it in. Jokinen feeds it across. There's a shot. That whistles wide, hard off the glass. Back to it, right side. Taken away, and a good play by Johnny Gaudreau. He'll fire across to Setoguchi. Gaudreau, Setoguchi, and Byron out there right now. With Byron in the middle on this line. Setoguchi checked on the far boards, and it's worked back the other way for Olli Jokinen. One-time Calgary Flame. 236 games over 4 years in 2 separate deployments with this team.
Played really well here as Calgary Flame, and I know that he and his family really enjoyed their time here.
Still looking for his first point as a Predator as they dump the puck back in.
Which is kind of surprising, isn't it? 0 points for Olli Jokinen.
You would think that he'd be a guy they're looking to produce some offense. Jones over the line, one-timer, shot off a stick wide by Glencross. Monahan back to Giordano, settles it down, wrists that off a stick. The puck goes off with Neal and out of play.
Michael Ferland getting his first opportunity in the National Hockey League, and how do you do that? Well, you get involved physically, and that's what he does best. So he takes Gaustad off to the side, and then Gaustad with that big power move I talked about. Jonas Hiller holds his ground, and then Volchenkov with an excellent block right here. Boy, sacrificing his body on that one. That was a pretty good attempt.
There's Gabriel Bourque trying to catch up to a puck. Could be a 2-on-1. He has Nystrom out front. Pass to Nystrom. Stopped by Hiller. Came across the stone. Eric Nystrom, who scored 4 goals in a game in Calgary last season. Then the Flames actually won in a shootout. Here's a chance up front for Monahan. Spin around. Arena makes the save with the right pad. Chances at both ends. We remained scoreless early in the first period of play. TJ Brodie takes his time, backhands it in, then turns to the bench on a change. Roman Josi, good young defenseman, works it over the line, shot by Forsberg, steered aside by Hiller, bouncing puck, Forsberg onto it. Philip Forsberg gets it free. There's a shot by Neal that's blocked. He gets it back. That's blocked again by Wideman. 2 in a row by the Flames defenseman. Bouncer comes to Ferland at center ice. Yuri Hudler over the line, but they're going to blow that dead on the offside.
Predators get first 2-on-1 of this game with Gabriel Bourque. It's going to be fired around hard from Josi right there, and Bourque just wins the puck battle right there. And take a look at Eric Nystrom at the bottom of the screen. Just opens up beautifully for the one-timer. And then Monahan's going to get his second chance of the game. Just deflected out of harm's way, but a couple of good scoring chances, Rick, now. Opening up just a little bit.
Face off outside the Nashville blue line. Ribeiro wins the draw. After he was bought out in Phoenix, he actually phoned the Nashville Predators. Called David Poile, the GM, and said, listen, I had some issues in Phoenix. I realized that. Marital problems. He goes, we've worked on those things, and I'm ready to step up and be a good player for you. And that convinced the Predators to sign Mike Ribeiro, and he has been good. 7 points, 3 goals.
I had a nice chat with him this morning. In fact, he was teasing me about the blue bandana, so he's got a good memory, too.
Glencross with control, puts the puck over the head of Weber back to the Nashville zone. Might be icing, and it is as they blow it down. As we head down to ice level, here's Roger.
All right, Rick, we'd like to remind you to play Safeway's $1 Million Score and Win. If any Flames player scores 5 times in our game, then Kathleen Robinson of Calgary can win $1 million. Shop at Safeway. You could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
5.5 into the first, no score here in Calgary. Giordano, Monahan, he'll retreat behind the net. Pressured there by Derek Roy, and that puck goes out of play over the glass.
TELUS Flames Hockey. Brought to you by TELUS, the future is friendly.
Jonas Hiller's been on a roll, Kelly. First time this season that Bob Hartley hasn't gone with the Hiller-Ramo back and forth plan. He's going back-to-back with Hiller, and I think it's at the point now where he's going to ride the hot hand for a while.
Absolutely. You don't get a goaltender that hot often, so you might as well run with them.
Derek Roy looking for his first goal as a Predator. Works the puck into the corner. He's checked there. Michael Ferland able to get control, and he'll clear it to the line and off the stick of Cullen out to center ice. Granlund onto it. Granlund and Ferland, as you mentioned before the game started, Kelly, were line mates in Adirondack. And Hartley feels it makes sense to play them together, and here they come. Ferland over the line. Hudler with a Ferland with a shot. That goes off the body of Volchenkov, who got in the way of that, that deflected wide. Chris Russell able to keep it onside.
Ferland showed pretty good hands.
He did. Here's Ferland. Granlund from a sharp angle. Rene makes the save. Rebound corralled by Roy as the Flames retreat for a change.
Oh, a good shift from that. The 2 youngsters, in fact, Michael Ferland and Marcus Granlund.
Seth Jones waits behind his net. Nashville finishes off a change up front. Brian McGrattan is back in the lineup after being scratched the last 5. Out there on the right side on this line as the Predators dump the puck in. McGrattan takes that pass, and he'll work the puck to the line. Nice play out the center ice to Bollig. Boma with him. There's Boma trying to cut out front. Shot. Rene makes the save. Boma hard into the corner. Took a hit there from Ekholm, and Puck is frozen for a whistle. With 13:02 to go in the first, Lance Boma slow to get up. Looks like he's going to be okay. We are scoreless. Flames and Predators, Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary.
Michael Ferland is going to show us why he's having such a great start to the American Hockey League. Terrific hands right there. Takes a puck right to the net. Then Marcus Granlund gets his chance. Boy, that's a pretty good shot right there. Pekka's size clearly shows up there. And then Lance Bowman gets taken hard into the boards from Matthias Ekholm, but he's okay. Ekholm looked almost a little embarrassed that he hit him that hard into the boards.
No penalty on the play as we stay at 5-on-5 in a scoreless game. Shots 4-2 in favor of Calgary. 7 minutes into this first period. Final game of this 5-game homestand for the Flames. They'll start a 5-game road trip Sunday in Montreal. Here's a chance for Monahan with the shot. Rene makes the save and he covers up the rebound.
Johnny Gaudreau did a really nice job on the puck battle there. People were kind of a little bit worried or wondering kind of impact he'd have. He had lots of open ice versus Montreal. Here he just wins a puck battle, gets it back to Setoguchi, and with that quick wrister, he gets his first good chance of the game. But I like how Devin Setoguchi kind of got away from traffic, high slot, going for a rebound.
Yeah, that was Setoguchi with that chance, not Monahan, who's out there now and wins the faceoff. Back to Brody with a wrister. That bounces into the corner. David Jones, second game back off his injury, trying to get there. Can't. Cleared out by Weber.
And he had a lot of chances late in the game versus Montreal, didn't he? He's getting better and better as the game went on.
Said today that they work so hard in practice that it doesn't take much time to get back into game shape when you're coming off an injury.
Yeah,
chance for an odd man rush. Here's Glenn Cross. Monahan out front. The pass never got through off the skate of Weber. Forsberg trying to clear. Now Weber will work it out. Shea Weber. Norris finalist 3 of the last 4 years. Fires the puck in, still yet to win one, although Doug McLean insists that if he played in Boston, he'd probably have 2 by now.
I don't disagree with that.
Just not high profile enough playing in Nashville, Kelly?
Yeah, you know, I've known how good he is, but then when I saw him every day in Sochi, again, I was reminded when you watch somebody personally just how different it is.
Here's Ferland out front looking for Granlund. Pass didn't connect, and it bounces past Chris Russell back to the Calgary zone. Weidman to it. Craig Smith, who's coming off a 2-goal game in Edmonton on the forecheck for Nashville, but the Flames get it out. Marcus Granlund to Yuri Hudler. Dumps the puck in. Volchenkov hit by Ferland in the corner. Granlund battling with Cullen. Wins the puck battle. Puts it behind the net for Hudler. Hudler back to Granlund. Bolig's off the bench now. Goes out front. Puck play back to the line, but intercepted there by Roy, and he's able to poke at the center ice. Eric Roy lost the puck at the Calgary line. Nashville makes a change. Chris Russell with a bit of room as the fourth line comes out for the Flames. Russell fires the puck in. McGrattan onto it, trying to throw it out front. Rene's down, can't corral the bouncer. Wilson's there to bank it ahead, and Jokinen able to bring the puck to the line and flip it out to center ice. Back home to Ryan Ellis. One of 3D ever to put 300-plus points on the board in the Ontario Hockey League.
Sure skate, eh?
Oh, he's a very good. There's another good young defenseman on this team. The other two were Rick Corvo and Denny Potvin.
Played with Denny for a lot of years, and what a star he was, of course. I think, from what I've watched, other than Bobby Orr, I'd say Dennis Potvin was the most dominating defenseman I've been around.
Ellis back to the puck. Boma takes another big hit on the end boards from Ekholm. Here comes Wilson down the wing with speed. Good play by Brody to steal that puck away, but he misses Byron with the pass. Ellis fires the puck in. Boma was a little slow going to the bench. He's been on the receiving end of a couple of Ekholm hits in this game. Mike Ribeiro back at his own blue line. Philip Forsberg. It's again no relation to Peter Forsberg.
Just a good player like him.
That's right. Well, not a blood relation, but you're right. The kid can play as the Flames dump it in. Setoguchi will turn to the bench. Gaudreau, lone forechecker. Yossi has control. Weber, lead pass to Smith. Smith, fanned on his wrister. Monahan chips it out. Johnny Gaudreau trying to get there, but Weber beats into the puck at the Nashville line. Across to his partner, Yossi. Plays it in. Weidman knocks it down. They're going to blow it dead on an offside. 9:29 left, first period. No score. Flames and Predators in Calgary.
And McGrattan has had a good first period. He made a good play earlier in a breakout from his own zone, and then I like that play right from the corner. Get pucks to the net and go hard there and try and go for rebounds. But he's only played in now his 5th game of the season, so he's going to obviously try and have a real big impact on it. in other ways than what people think.
Roy works the puck over the line. Smith was caught offside. Whistle blows. Emma Grattan's been a healthy scratch the last 5 games. Kelly, I know it's been a little frustrating for him, but you know, you got to make the best of it when you get your chance, and so far he's done that.
And he hasn't pouted. He hasn't been a distraction in the dressing room. He's, as everybody knows, he's much loved in that dressing room and well respected. So I'm sure he's getting a lot of support from his teammates right now.
Shots are 6-2 in favor of Calgary. As Chris Russell takes his time. Finds Marcus Granlund at center ice. Chips it in. Swatted away by Seth Jones. And banked out the center by Cullen. Russell back to it. Lead pass. Nearly Hoodler put it in, but not deep. Jones able to break that up. Craig Smith at center ice. A great chance against Calgary in their first meeting was robbed on a spectacular glove save by Kari Framo on a 2-on-1.
Ramo made many of those, didn't he, in that game?
He did. There wasn't a lot of shots, but he had to make a number of 5-alarm fire saves in that game. And then all 3 in the shootout as the Flames were able to win. In the middle of that road trip. Look to finish off this homestand at 2-1-2. Neal over the line trying to take advantage of a change with a shot up high on Hiller, and he's able to make the save and hang on as we go back downstairs. Here's Roger Millions.
A new season, a new game, a million reasons to play. Play the new Sportsnet Fantasy Hockey Pool on Sportsnet.ca for your chance to win $1 million or a VIP trip for 2 to the 2015-16 NHL regular season game. It's free and easy to play. Get started today at Sportsnet.ca/fantasy.
Bob Hartley this morning was asked what's the challenge in facing the Predators, and he didn't even hesitate, and I think we all knew what the answer was going to be. Pekka Rinne, outstanding goaltending, and the 6 guys on the back end for the Predators. They are outstanding as a unit, individually and as a unit.
Yeah, they've been so good on their own end of the rink. They've actually given up fewer goals per game than they did last year. There's a chance up front for Romero, and he put it just wide. Top of the crease. By the time he got it settled down, I think Giordano was able to interrupt him, and he put that puck into the corner.
I don't think he knew he had that much time.
Sean Monahan takes the puck from Brody. Ribeiro stays on the forecheck, hassling Monahan. David Jones trying to get it out, can't. Mike Ribeiro again having a good shift. James Neal in the corner. Side of the goal, controlled by Forsberg. Turns in the corner, played it out front. Hiller cut it off, and Giordano corrals the rebound. Not out of trouble yet, but he gets it ahead to Monahan, who tips that puck to the blue line where it's swatted up by David Jones. Off the linesman, right to Monahan. Cuts him with great cross shot by Monahan. Goes wide, may have gone off Weber's stick. Missed the net. Monahan back onto it. Knocked away from him, and out they come. 3 wide to Preds to center. Ribeiro, Neal. Jokinen goes for the goal. Ribeiro slap shot on goal, and Hiller able to make the save and hang on for a whistle.
Rick, you talked about the impact Mike Ribeiro has had here in Nashville, and boys, he played well. This one, he gets knocked down, then goes straight to the front of the net. Everybody loses him. The bouncing puck comes to him, and I don't think he realized he had that much time. And then here's his last chance, right through traffic. Jonas Hiller does a nice job of finding that. It's a lot of layers of traffic in front, but I had a great conversation with Ribeiro, and he also talked about his 2 line mates, Philip Forsberg and James Neal, and what he has to do with playing with them, and hopefully I can share that in a second.
Off the draw, Volchenkov with a shot. It's a change direction. Hiller throws the blocker on that and knocks it aside. Last second shot from the point goes wide. Volchenkov again with a shot. Schmid got in the way of that one. Ladislav Schmid up the boards, a bouncer. Setaguchi trying to muscle it out. He falls down. Beck's able to keep the play alive. Across to Seth Jones with a bit of room. Finds Jokinen, slap shot, deflects just wide of the goal. Setaguchi trying to get it out. Knocked away from him, but Schmid will follow up, and he's able to fire it out the center to Goodrow. Johnny Goodrow over the line. What a move! Goodrow right in! Stop by Rinne! Spectacular move by Goodrow, and Rinne had the answer. That was going to be a beauty shot from the point, deflects wide of the goal. Goodrow knocked down by Volchenkov. Battle ensues along the far boards. Fans love what they've seen on a number 13.
Do they ever? They're still cheering.
That was something.
That was 10 seconds ago, and they're still cheering.
Wow. On the bench now. Goodrow is, as Gostad works the puck through center. Bork with him. Shot by Gostad goes wide. Nystrom trying to get over to it. Plays it back to Yossi. He can't keep it onside. Predators have to tag up. That gives Ladislav Schmid time to settle things down with 6:10 to go in a scoreless first period of play. Dennis Weidman. Hard pass to McGrattan. He's able to chip it deep. Bowling on the forecheck. Weber back first. I'm going to rule that icing. McGrattan complains, but they're going to say that that was an icing call, but a great chance for Johnny Gaudreau to open the scoring, Kelly.
Even after the game on Tuesday, some of the Montreal Canadiens players were talking about this skill set and how incredible that is. He goes around Volchenkov, a great NHL defenseman, stay-at-home defenseman, and he made that look pretty easy, didn't he? So confidently.
Josi, backhand, hits Roy. Puck bounces to the boards. McGrattan gets control. He'll skate the puck to center ice. Chip it in. This might be icing again. No, they're going to wave it off this time. Must have been touched because he was further on the other side of the red line on that one than the one they called. Derek Roy through center. Over the line. Slap shot. Rolling puck wide. Chris Russell. Michael Ferland can't clear. Roy feeds it across. Roman Josi with a wrister that never got through, and the Flames corral. The puck could be a 2-on-1. But good hustle by Roy to get back and knock it away from Granlund. Ferland brings the puck over the line. Plays it behind the net to Hudler. Yuri Hudler. On the backhand. Back to the blue line. Too far off the stick of Brody, who has to regroup at center ice. Flames tag up. Back comes Giordano with Hudler. To Brody with a one-timer. Never got it through. Blocked the front. Rebound. Monahan can't get there. Glencross backhand block. Second shot off the goal post. Glencross clanks it off the iron. Giordano out front for Monahan. Put it behind him. Ribeiro worked the puck back out the center. Another good chance for Calgary. Ellis over the line. Chips that on goal. And Hiller elects to cover up for a face-off. 4:44 left in the first, but not for a lack of chances. The latest by Glencross off the goalpost. Flames in Nashville.
Curse Glencross gets a good chance here. Giordano throws it to the high slot. First puck is deflected. Now Glencross is in the high slot again. He backhand, but it's those quick hands right there. That little wrister, and he hits a goalpost to the left of Pekka Rinne.
Glencross that close to his second of the year, but we're still scoreless in the final 4 minutes and 44 seconds of the first period in Calgary as the Predators win the face-off and set it up in the offensive zone. Forsberg's shot never got through, blocked by Giordano. Forsberg again out front for Ribeiro. He couldn't get a stick to that one to redirect it. Weber's shot is blocked by Glencross. Giordano able to find Jones at center to Brody up on the play. Back to David Jones with a wrister blocker away by Rinne. Glencross puts it behind the net for Jones, tied up by Josi. Monahan comes in to help, but Forsberg winds up with a puck with a quick up to Neal. Could have a breakaway. Giordano hustling back. Takes Neal down. He gets a shot away. Put it wide of the goal. Nets off the pegs. No penalty. But they blow the play dead because the net's been dislodged. Good hustle, Kelly, by Mark Giordano.
I like the good stretch pass here from Forsberg in his own zone all the way down the ice to Neal. It's in behind Giordano, but what an effort by Giordano to get back into play. Neal kind of got tangled up blue line by himself, and I agree, there shouldn't be a call in that. That's just a terrific defensive play by Mark Giordano, which we're pretty used to here in Calgary.
Yeah, they happen frequently.
Yes, they do.
With number 5. I don't know, he probably would, in hindsight, prefer to be in better position to begin with on that play, but able to make up ground quickly and take away that scoring chance.
Give Forsberg credit for coming out from behind the net and finding Neal, though.
Here's a chance out front. Olli Jokinen with a shot blocked by Englund. Fired wide on the other side by Ekholm. Bollig. Derek Englund. Lead pass to center to McGrattan. Can't get it in. Englund gets it back. Feeds it to Boma. He has Bollig on the left side. There's the pass for Bollig. Knocked away from him. Boma gets a shot away wide. Bounces to the right side. Englund races up to it. Chopped over the blue line by Jokinen. And brought out through center by Beck. Hit by McGrattan. Ryan Ellis down the right side with a bit of room and a slap shot. Put that off the goalpost, and that puck goes out of play. So Ellis clanks one off the iron.
Nashville getting a couple good chances here. Only 3.5 minutes left in the first period. Here's Ellis. He just buries his head and wires that one right off the crossbar. And then we're going to see the block by Englund just earlier. Good chance by the Predators there, but Derek Englund read that play, went out to a high slot and took away that chance.
Shots 9-7 Calgary. Loose puck side of the goal. Bouncer, and Hiller will scoop that up and hang on for a faceoff.
This is the Sports Select Legends statistician. He knows the numbers, and the numbers start with a $.
Get your game on with Sports Select.
3:17 to go in the first. There have been chances, Kelly, still no goals.
Not the pace that we had in the Montreal game, but certainly lots of great scoring chances. Different kind of game, that's all.
Nashville likes to play it a little closer to the vest. I know people have talked about a change in philosophy with Peter Laviolette behind the bench, but they're still a great team when it comes to defensive play, Kelly, as they go offside at the Calgary blue line.
Outchancing Calgary 6-5. Shots are 9-8 for Calgary. Peter Laviolette talking to some people within the Predators organization today and just saying how focused he is. He's actually quite a quiet person. You get lots of that when you're around him, but also after he does his media scrum in the morning, he gets really focused and even quieter than normal and just focuses on his coaching duties.
Icing called on Nashville. Eric Nystrom telling me today, I was asking for, compare and contrast with Barry Trotz. He goes, well, the biggest thing in the offensive zone is we have a lot more movement than we used to. And yet you look at the numbers, Kelly, and they're scoring fewer goals on average this season than they did last year, and they're giving up way fewer than they did last year. So,
and which is surprising considering the people they brought in. They brought in offensive-minded people. They also talked, I know, some of the players about how he knows when to push somebody's buttons and how to motivate others. And of course, he's done a great job with that with their record.
Yeah, well, and the better goals against is easily explained. Pat Garina's healthy.
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau over the line. What's he got in his bag of tricks here? He shoots wide of the goal. Seth Jones squats that to the near boards. Nystrom's able to poke it out the center ice. Flames take control there. Chris Russell in his own zone. Waits for the change. Finds Monahan down the wing. Sean Monahan, long shot off Jones into the far corner. Weber gave it away to Glencross, but he can't keep it onside. It bounces off his leg and out. Giordano puts it back in. Weber settles it down. Bank pass to Ribeiro. Mike Ribeiro. Forsberg with him. Forsberg blew a tire. Giordano winds up with a puck to David Jones on the far side. Ribeiro pressures. Almost forced a turnover. Did, in fact. Gets the puck back. There's Neal with a shot. That goes off Glencross into the corner. Sean Monahan able to work it out. He'll flip it in. Glencross on the forecheck. Rene will stop it. Covers up for a face-off.
Let's take a look at some of those new offensive-minded Predators we're talking about. Mike Ribeiro, of course, 7 points. Number of players. Volchenkov, of course, not an offensive-minded player. Everybody else is. And Olli Jokinen, I'm still a little bit surprised. No points early on in this season, but pretty safe to say he's going to get his goals and his points. That's what Olli's done his entire career.
1179th game in Olli Jokinen's career. That's 12th among active players in the National Hockey League. Roman Josi after the puck behind the net, battling with Yuri Hudler. Josi for Beck, intercepted. Nice play by Russell to keep the play onside.
Was that ever a sharp play, huh?
Snuck in around Beck on the other side, took the puck away. Now they get it out. Could be an odd man rush, maybe a 3-on-1. Beck with Wilson and Josi. Beck out front, hopped over the stick of Josi. Harmlessly to the near boards. Wilson behind the net. Back to Beck with a shot off Hudler's stick. Puck goes out of play.
Calgary Flames gave up a 2-on-1 earlier in the period. Now this is going to be a 3-on-1. And Beck's a little unsure what to do. He doesn't want to be selfish and shoot the puck, so he's going to pass it to Josi. And it's a rolling puck, and it bounces over the stick of Josi. I think where he is right there, just shoot it. You have players going to the net.
Play for the rebound.
Absolutely. And it's, with all due respect, it's Roman Josi. I mean, he's a really good player, but it's not Shea Weber.
Although Josi did have 13 goals last season. Shot goes wide.
I like where Beck was.
I agree. Your point is right either way. Here's Gaudreau over the line. Swings wide. Cuts in behind the net. Tried to feed it out front for Byron. That was off a skate. Giordano on the near boards. Plays it out front. Bouncing puck. Gaudreau stopped by Rene. Puck bounces in behind the net. Johnny Gaudreau's created some chances in this first period. Final 40 seconds. Gaudreau again out front for Byron, and his skates can't find it. Knocked away, and the Predators able to relieve some pressure and skate it out as Craig Smith brings the puck to center. Smith over the line with a weak wrister wide. Brody in the corner. Puck stolen by Craig Smith. Byron got it back and cleared over the head of Weber. Flames will change. Final 15 seconds of the opening period. Weber to Josi. Neal. Off wing with a shot. Deflects off Russell wide of the goal. Back to Josi at the line. Look out. Weber with the big shot. Time ticking down. He got it away, but fired that into his teammate Forsberg. As the horn sounds and the first period comes to an end. Johnny Gaudreau with more chances here to open the scoring.
On his toes, wasn't he, this entire first period? And when you're a talented guy, you're on your toes, you're going to create a lot of good scoring opportunities, which he did in this first period.
He had a few in the first, but we're still scoreless after.
Back in Calgary, the Flames and Predators are scoreless after 20 minutes of play as we get set for the second stanza. Joining us now, our Flames analyst, Eric Francis. You know, our community, the city of Calgary, the country of Canada, lost a great Canadian today. A man that contributed so much to sports, business, and just was a great person in John Forzani, dead at age 67. A tremendous loss.
Yeah, you know what? Probably the highest compliment you could pay him is he was the consummate Calgarian. And a football player with the Stampeders starting in 71 as a rookie. He won the Grey Cup, but then realized years later the team was, spiraling in a downward way with Michael Frederick running the team into the ground. He spearheaded a group to buy the team, save the team, gave them incredible stability, put together the group, including John Hufnagel, that makes it the class of the league right now. As a businessman, his acumen was incredible. Turned one store on 17th Avenue into a $700 million entity. And the charitable work he did through the Forzani Foundation, through Sport Check, incredible. And the work he did for junior football, the Dinos. If your son plays football in this city, you owe him a little debt of gratitude for all he's done. They charge a premium to make sure young kids can play. But you know what I'll miss about him the most? He might have been the funniest human being I've ever known in my life. That smile of his, it wasn't long between the smile he wore walking into a room and it was on your face because he had that sort of charm.
Our thoughts and prayers are with John's family. Another John, Johnny Gaudreau. Spectacular first, but you're worried about him.
I am. This play, we could show this 4 or 5 times, and I hope we do show it 3 or 4 times. Incredible, got everybody out of their seats in the crowd. Didn't quite finish it off, but here's what I'm concerned about is afterwards. Look at this little run they take at him here, okay? And it happens a little bit later. We're going to show you another example. When you put a guy on a line with Paul Byron, the 2 Timbits, as Bob Hartley calls them, and Devin Sitaguchi, on the blue line you had Russell and Weidman. No one's there to answer for that run right there. You see that? When they start playing bigger, tougher teams in the West, like the Anaheims, the Chicagos, the LAs, if you don't start pushing back as a team, Johnny Gaudreau is going to get hurt. That's what I worry about. They need to start sending that message and pushing back now.
We'll find out. Second period action, Rick and Kelly.
All right, Roger, Eric, thank you very much. Second period is underway. No score, Calgary, Nashville. Scotiabank Saddledome as we watch the Flames wrap up this 5-game homestand. The Predators game 2 of a 6-game road trip because the Country Music Awards have taken over Bridgestone Arena. Here's Schmid at the line, thought about shooting, lost the puck, got it back in time to put it behind the net. Roman Josi is there. Nice play to Jokinen. Beck with him. Jokinen with Beck out front, plays it to the traitor. Wilson got a shot away, pad saved by Hiller, and the rebound cleared over the blue line. Early second period save for Jonas Hiller with that left leg. Josi dumps the puck in, heads to the bench. Gaudreau at center ice. Leighton Hischier flips it deep and heads off himself.
Both teams using the long stretch pass very effectively today.
See, Nashville set up a couple of odd man rushes with that play. Over the line, Neal with a shot off a stick through the slot to the other side where TJ Brodie plays it ahead for David Jones. He can't take the pass, but the puck clears his own, and Glenn Cross after it. Monahan's up front. Glenn Cross, backhand, stop, rebound, clear to the corner. Ellis able to sweep that away after Ride made the save. Ryan Ellis takes his time. Ekholm feeds it ahead. Forsberg checked at the line by Jones. Mike Ribeiro had some chances the first period across to Ellis, who fires the puck in. Brodie launched by Forsberg. Puck played around off the stick of Jones down the ice. Calgary will change. Finish off and change anyway. Seth Jones, long lead pass up the left wing. Cullen will dump it in. Chris Russell over to it, lets it go to Ferland. He can't get it out, kept on side at the line. Weidman turns back behind the net, under pressure from Smith, who steals the puck away. Got it to Cullen with a shot. That deflects wide of the goal. Derek Roy dropped it off. Jones, Cullen out front to Smith. Shot blocked. Weidman bravely got in the way of that one and felt that one. Doesn't have a stick. He's holding his arm. Puck goes out to center ice. Weidman still stickless. Derek Roy over the line. Plays it back. Jones, room. Shot deflected. Stopped by Hiller. Rebound comes to the circle. Jones corrals it. Bank pass down low. Russell gets back to it, put it off the glass. Jones stands his ground, kept it onside for a moment. Now it's clear down the ice, and Jiri Hudler gets after it, takes off the icing call. 2.5 minutes into the second. Puck played back to the Calgary end. Schmid. Lead pass tipped in. Might have had numbers on a Nashville change, but that didn't quite connect as the Predators are able to clear the zone. Gabriel Bourque over the line. 3-on-2 possibility, but a shot goes wide. Paul Kostad took a pump there from Monahan. That allows Bowman to get control. Lance Bowman for McGrattan behind him. And this is going to be icing on Calgary as the whistle blows.
Some really good scoring chances. Nashville with that long stretch pass. Josi right up to Jokinen. He's doesn't want to shoot, so he's going to wait for everything to get set up, and then Wilson gets that good chance. Glencross showing his speed here, blowing around Ekholm. Rene in good position. Here's where Dennis Wideman gets hurt. The wrister right in front from Smith. Now, keep in mind, Dennis Wideman had a similar injury last year that kept him out for a little bit, so we'll see if he's okay.
Stays on the bench. Face-off won by Boma. Wilson battles with Boma on the end boards. That allows Englund to get control. Ahead to McGrattan. He'll chop the puck over the line. Josi at center ice. Flips the puck back in. Beck trying to get after it. Can't. Broken up by Englund. McGrattan. Bollig. He's checked by Jokinen. There's a shot by Wilson that goes wide. Shea Weber onto it far side. Checked by Bollig. Brandon Bollig gave it away down low. Wilson throws it out front. Shot by Jokinen. Put it wide of the goal. On a giveaway in the corner, Jokinen gets a great chance for his first goal as a Predator. Nashville keeps the pressure on. Josi. Weber. Wrist shot. Blocked by Boma. Weber gets it back. Josi. Slap shot. Hit the post. Did it go in? It might have gone in. The back referee says yes. It looks like the Predators may have opened the scoring, Kelly.
I thought so too, Rick. Josi fired from the point. There's a lot of traffic, different layers of traffic. And I think it hit something along the way. There it is. I can't tell from that angle.
This might show it better.
This definitely will show it.
Off the crossbar.
You were right, Rick. That's off the crossbar.
It did bounce down oddly.
Yes.
Like it looked like it lost enough steam that it somehow, some of the energy was absorbed by the netting, but...
Right, it fooled my eyes. It definitely, from our angle, it looked like it hit about a foot into the net, in fact. But that replay clearly shows that it hit the crossbar, nor did we hear a noise like a puck hitting a post. Another look at it. And that just hits Jokinen in front and goes right off the crossbar. Jokinen didn't react as though it went in the net either, though, so maybe that should have been our first clue. He continued to play. Other players on the ice reacted.
And after all that, Kelly, there's a penalty on Nashville. So Wilson sits, and the first power play of the game goes to Calgary, and so we'll try and sort out what the call was. So Flames dodge a bullet at one end and wind up on the power play at the other end. 16:20 left in the second period.
Was it goaltender interference? Sure, we'll take a look at that.
That is the call,
so
that would suggest, Kelly, even if that puck had gone in, it wouldn't have counted anyway. Flames power play goes to work, looks to open the scoring. Russell with a long shot. That was blocked in front by Josi. Weber will bat the puck to the point and out as Russell couldn't keep it onside. Wideman and Russell on the points. Monahan up front with Hudler and Glencross on this power play for Calgary. Chris Russell to center. Drop pass, Hudler. And his skates makes a nice play to Wideman over the line. Out front, Monahan with a shot. He hit the post. That was right off the iron, straight back out. Great chance there. Power play continues. Monahan. Glencross one-timer. Wideman shoots. Stopped by Reed. Rebound. They score! Monahan hits the post. Seconds later, puts in the rebound. It's 1-0 Calgary.
And if you've got a big shot from the point, use it. Can't stress that enough. Don't pass it if you've got a great shot. Dennis Wideman comes in from his point position, just hammers the puck at Rene, you know he's a brilliant goaltender, but when he shoots it that hard, it's awfully difficult to control the rebound. Sean Monahan just positions his stick properly and bangs in that rebound. Exciting shift, though. The Calgary Flames had a couple opportunities that looked to me as though it's going to be hard to enter the zone because Nashville Predators had actually played their entry quite well, taking away a bit of that bump back the Calgary Flames like on their power play entry.
Monahan gets the goal. Weidman and Glencross the assist. Third of the season for Sean Monahan. A power play goal opens the scoring, and the Flames are up by 1.
Now let's see if Ferland and Neal get engaged here. They're going at it right off the face-off.
Yuri Hudler at center ice. Nice play. Here goes Granlund with Ferland. Ferland shoots, stopped by Rene. Lost the rebound, but it went wide to the other side. He actually looked the other way, but the puck wound up near the corner. Mike Ribeiro tips the puck out. Brody back to it. Bank pass. Setaguchi at the line. Works it in. Michael Ferland, who's had a couple of chances in this game, threw it out front. Cut off by Rene before Setaguchi could get to it. Puck flipped up by the Predators.
Can really see that chemistry that they had down that.
Looked like it was offside. It was. They blow it dead. That shot late. And we get a whistle on that play. 14:47 left in the second.
Your Hoodlers really fit in nicely with these two youngsters as well. He sets up Granlund right through the middle. It's a chance by Ferland, but I like the three of them, how well they're working together. And also the decision to put Hoodler on that line with two youngsters because he's an elite thinker of the game.
Smart move by Hartley too, Kelly, to put Ferland and Granlund together.
Yep.
Both get called up, but they played together in Adirondack on a line,
Absolutely.
so why not have that familiarity, a level of familiarity out there, and it seems to be working so far. They've created some chances tonight.
They've been a really good line.
Craig Smith behind the Calgary net, looks out front. Gets the puck to Ekholm, across to Ellis. Wrist shot into traffic off Monahan's stick. He score! Smith fires it in. And just like that, the Preds have tied the game at 1.
Once again, it's getting pucks to the net. Doesn't have to be a hard shot, even though Ryan Ellis is excellent from that point position. They just work it back from behind the net to out high, little wrister, and then you see the puck is deflected in front, and then it's just chased a bouncing puck. Hard to do. Smith right there just fires it. He's a terrific player. We heard Brad May talking about all his qualities in the opening. And there it is right there. He scored 2 versus Edmonton. Good hands to get it up and over Hiller.
4th of the season for Craig Smith, who led the Predators with 24 goals last season. Ellis and Ekholm pick up the helpers on that goal. And as Kelly mentioned, 3 in 2 games for Smith comes 1 minute and 7 seconds after the Flames open the scoring.
Very similar plays, aren't they? Puck to the point, throw it to the net, and cash in on the rebound.
Derek Englund feeds the puck to center. Weber takes it away before Gaudreau could get there. Here goes Wilson back the other way, working on Englund. Stops in the circle with a shot. That never got through. Jokinen gets the rebound. Ole Jokinen back to Weber for the one-timer. Put it wide. Out front, shot underneath Hiller and out the other side by Beck. Here's Weber again, fanned on the one-timer, and Johnny Gaudreau takes the puck and feeds it out to Setaguchi. He'll chip it in. The rest of his mates head to the bench and a change. Landcross keeps the play onside. Monahan across to David Jones. Wrist shot. Rene save, and he covers up the rebound for a whistle. 13.5 minutes to go. Second period of play. Calgary 1, Nashville 1. Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. Sean Monahan scores, so on behalf of the Safeway Score Wing Contest and Kraft Shredded Cheese, Asami Yamauchi of Banff has won a Krups Espressoria Automatic Espresso Machine.
The highs and lows of playing hockey, huh? So Sean Monahan scores the first goal of this game right in the slot, buries it 1-0 Calgary Flames, and then in his own zone inadvertently deflects it, and it goes onto the stick of Smith, and it's 1-1. So that's one of the things about being a professional hockey player. You have to deal with the highs and lows, and however they may fall.
So Monahan gets his 3rd of the season. You're right, it's a bit of a bad break at the other end on the goal by Smith. 1 minute 7 seconds after the Flames had opened the scoring. Shots are 15-11 in Calgary's favor here in the second period. Lance Boma tied up by Gaustad. Yossi watched by Bolig, who throws a forearm shiver into him. A shot by McGrattan deflects well wide. Gabriel Bourque takes the puck and retreats behind his own net. Long lead pass through center ice. Josi finds Nystrom who works it into Weber for the one-timer. It goes off Russell wide. He has a cannon. And that puck deflects into the glass where it's controlled by Nystrom behind the net for Paul Gaustad. Back to Weber. Can't shoot. Across instead to Volchenkov. He'll shoot. Put it wide of the goal. Gaustad to it. Bourque watched behind the net by Wideman. Volchenkov. Over to Jones just on the ice. Bourque knocked down by Bollig. He's lost his stick. Seth Jones gets the return pass, and that's blocked by Bollig. Jones gets it again. Shot hit his own man. Bourque. Bollig slowing it up as McGrattan relieves the pressure. All he can do is skate it over the line. Back come the Preds. Nystrom by himself. Nashville was changing. Russell cuts him off. Puck to the blue line. McGrattan battling with Volchenkov. Able to bank it out. Once again, not very far. Long change in the second period. Boma's going to head off. Mike Ribeiro the other way with Neal as Ribeiro winds up. Fakes. Neal out front. Cuts behind the net instead. Feeds the pass to Ellis for the one-timer. Pad saved by Jonas Hiller as the long shot from Ekholm whistles wide of the goal. Ribeiro back to the line. Ellis again with a shot. That whistles wide of Hiller. Ekholm keeps the play alive. Neal, wrister, put it wide. Stick side, shot off the boards. That went wide of the goal. Back to Ekholm. Nashville pressuring for the go-ahead goal as we approach the midway mark of the second period. Ekholm. James, Neal able to tip the puck along the boards. There's thrown out front. Shot wide of the goal by Forsberg, and the puck winds up deflecting out of play. It's a break for Calgary because there's been lots of pressure in the Flame zone, Kelly.
Bollig with good body position here. He's got a nice big hit right there. He has a physical presence. That shift. There's a third hit on Josi. Then we're going to see the shot block right here by Chris Russell. Just gets a stick on it. That is on Shea Weber. 19-8 shots blocked by Calgary in comparison to Nashville. The 19 shots already blocked by the Calgary Flames.
Wow. We saw Russell block one. Kelly came into the game second in the league with 34 blocks this year. So Bollig on the bench looks like he's okay.
That's just all body position because as we know, Chris Russell's 5'10".
Face-off win for the Predators. Josi with a shot. That's blocked by Giordano. Rebound is stopped by Hiller, who's able to flop on top of the loose puck. As that was close, but Hiller covers up for a face-off.
With the inexperienced Calgary Flames in the face-off circle, Nashville's getting the better opportunities off the draw. Weber and Josi just play catch on that one. Jonas Hiller is able to come from his right to his left and take away that chance.
Monahan able to play the puck out to Glencross. Good job to get it to Jones and then stay on side, but Jones' shot goes off the stick of Josi and out of play as we're approaching the 9-minute mark of the second period in a 1-1 game. Once again, here's Roger.
Rick, we'd like to remind everyone, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Kraft Shredded Cheese.
Shot attempts, Nashville 49, Calgary 29. So the Flames have done a good job getting in the way of many of those Nashville shots.
That, and I have noticed Nashville, they missed the net on some of their good opportunities. Shea Weber in particular has had two that missed the net. Good opportunities, one in the high slot.
Terry Crisp is in the crowd and getting a round of applause. Kelly, from the fans here in Calgary.
I guess.
Got a chuckle today as Terry, who a long time was an analyst for a Nashville broadcast, was in the building and a bunch of his family wearing Nashville Predators jerseys, and Yuri Hoodler was giving him a hard time during the skate this morning. Where's your Calgary jerseys?
Yeah, the proud grandpa. He had all the grandkids here this morning. And some of his own children.
Goodrow, good job to battle the puck away from Weber. Goodrow, this time lost the puck to Weber, who's able to poke it off his stick and out to the neutral zone. Goodrow turns away from Gaustad. Finds Englund at center ice. Englund to Setaguchi. Will give chase. Byron as well. Josi gets there ahead of Byron. Weber behind the net, cut off by Goodrow. Will try the other side. Roman Josi onto it. Works the puck to the line, and Bourque takes control at center ice, fires it in. Preds start a change as Hiller leaves it behind the net. Ladislav Smid takes control. Craig Smith, who has the Nashville goal, the lone forechecker. Long lead pass from Smid. Granlund over the line. Hoodler with him. So is Ferland. Ferland swings wide. Has to give chase to the corner behind the net for Hoodler. He's tied up by Volchenkov. Winds up with control. Good work, though, by Ferland to steal the puck away. Can't pull it around Derek Roy. Puck goes back to the boards. Hoodler and Ferland battle. Cullen knocks it away from them. Seth Jones will try the other side and winds up icing the puck. Another good shift for this line, Kelly.
And this all started with the Schmid stretch pass, but I've sure enjoyed watching Ferland play. As advertised, I think you'd say that. I know that every player wants to make their jump to the National Hockey League a little bit sooner. There's that pass tape to tape from Schmid to Granlund, and just sets up that offensive time in the Predator zone.
Monahan line out now as he gets it back to Brody. Waits for traffic. Shot. Pad save by Rene, who fired out the left leg. Big rebound corralled by Cullen, who fires it cross ice. Misses Smith in the neutral zone. Flames take control. TJ Brody. Racing after it is Glencross. Glencross with a shot. Put it wide. All he could do was chop it towards the goal. Rene thought for a second about coming up, but decided against it. That was the right play. Brody, giveaway. Roy. Neal drops it off. Forsberg hit hard on a good play by Giordano. Monahan clears the zone. Too hard. This will be icing on Calgary with Ekholm going back.
Curtis Glencross had an excellent chance right here. It's set up because James Neal knocks down the first pass, and it goes, slows it down and gives Curtis Glencross a chance. It was rolling though. I think that's just one of those where you're just trying to hopefully chip it over the goaltender's shoulder.
Ribeiro against Monahan on the draw. Wins it for Nashville. Shot, they score! Right off the draw. Neal able to put it 5-hole on Hiller. And it's 2-1 Predators.
That one just fools Jonas Hiller. It's right off the face-off, quickly onto the stick. Ribeiro just kicks it back. You can see a lot of traffic though. Give Neal credit. He recognized there's a lot of traffic, and before Jonas Hiller can pick that up, he just rifles it 5-hole. As much as Jonas Hiller would like that back, that's a terrific release from James Neal. That's why he's one of the most dangerous players on the Predators. That's his 6th goal already this season.
And it makes it 2-1 Nashville. Neal with 88 goals over the last 3 seasons coming into this year, and as you mentioned, add 6 more to that total.
He's a sniper, that's for sure.
Schmid at center, so the Flames find themselves behind for the first time in the game. 8.5 minutes to go in the second period. Derek Englund knocks down a puck at center ice. Hands it away to Weber, up the left side to Beck. Turns away from Byron, feeds it to Josi, across to Weber, and his skate comes out to center ice. Preds have to regroup. Roman Josi takes control. Ole Jokinen for Wilson to Beck. Wilson goes up front. Beck stops on the half boards. Englund watches him. Puck goes to the corner. Wilson's there. Bumped by Byron. Wilson turns, trying to play it out front to Jokinen. He's tied up. A loose puck in the slot. Beck can't settle it down. Has to take it in the corner. Hard pass to Josi, who kept it onside with a shot. Blocked up front by Schmid. More pressure from Nashville. Taylor back down low. Gave it away to Goodrow. And the Flames rookie turns away from pressure. Finds Englund on the open side, and he'll work the puck over the red line and fire in as Calgary makes changes on the fly. McGrattan to Boma. Boma fighting down low with Neal. TJ Brody pinches from the right point. Plays the puck to the end boards for Boma. Weber got in the way of that pass. Shea Weber pokes it up the boards, and it's cleared.
Predators have really ratcheted up here after tying the game 1-1. It's been all Predators lately.
Puck backhanded in. Might be icing. Takes a friendly Nashville bounce. Icing waved off. Neal behind the net trying to work it out front. Gets the pass away to Ekholm with a shot. Blocked. Loose puck corralled by Boma. Clears the zone. McGrattan can't catch up to it. Swatted back in by Nashville. Just under 7 minutes left in the second period. There's a giveaway at the line. Brody steals. Feathers one through to McGrattan. Late in a shift from McGrattan. All he can do is work it in. Didn't get it deep. Look out. Flames making it change. Nashville tries to counter. Ribeiro's late in his shift. Fires the puck in. Giordano goes to it. Long pass Brody. There's Ferland tipping it in. Granlund's out front. Ferland comes behind the net. Took a bump. Fell down. Puck under him. Gets back up. Hoodler looking for it. He's tied up, and Gabriel Bourque makes a nifty play to Nystrom, who works it out with Jones up on the play. Nystrom dumps it in. Weidman and Nystrom bump. Granlund comes in to help. Puck comes to the side of the goal. Hiller swatted that away. Marcus Granlund clears off the glass and out. Seth Jones races back to it. Hiller watches him. Jones leaves the puck for Volchenkov. Then cross to Weidman. Weidman had his 4-game goal-scoring streak come to an end last game against Montreal, but picks up a helper on the Calgary goal in this game as the Flames dump it in. Jones will fire that puck out. Schmid gets to it just off the bench. Cross to Englund. Englund down the wing with a shot. Kicked aside by Rene. Rebound. Blank cross. Throws it out front. Swatted wide by Monahan. Englund keeps it onside with a shot. That bounces off Roy wide of the goal. Jones got it ahead to Smith, who tipped it out to Cullen at center ice. Cullen working on Englund, waiting for support. Matt Cullen turns. Stumbles. Puck goes to the corner. Derek Englund gets control down low. For Schmid. Missed. Jones gets it to Schmid. He'll clear the zone to center ice.
Flames are going to have to get their forecheck going. Right now it's the Predators with all the pressure and the pace.
Giveaway outside the line. Goodrow feathers a pass through to Weidman with a wrister. Nice stop by Rene. Blockers that aside. Shot off the boards by Setaguchi. Never got through. Intercepted by Derek Roy. His pass deflection. Weber able to regroup at his own blue line. Inside 5 minutes to go in the second. Flames open the scoring, but back-to-back goals by Nashville as the Predators on top by 1.
Good back check by Johnny Goodrow.
Preds keep the pressure on. Beck trying to jam it in. Hiller's down, able to cover up and hang on for a whistle. 4:31 left, second period. Nashville 2, Calgary 1. Telus Flames Hockey on Sportsnet.
CP Goals for Kids is proudly sponsored by Canadian Pacific and its 2,700 railroaders based in Calgary. For every Flames goal this season, the Railway will donate $250 to Kidsport and the Flames Even Strength program. Keep scoring, Calgary Flames. Help CP build stronger kids and stronger communities.
4.5 minutes left, second period. Flames down 2-1. Kelly, you talked about Calgary needing to do a better job on the forecheck here.
Yeah, it's pretty evident they've lost their speed right now and they don't have any forecheck whatsoever. There's no zone time in the Predator zone at all.
First things first, get on your own end. Glenn Cross on the boards. Rivero puts it behind the net. Forsberg out front, Neal shot, loose puck, rebound off Hiller is corralled by Monahan.
Quick release again from James Neal.
Looking for his second of the game. Forsberg keeps the play alive in the offensive zone. Giordano cuts that off. Glenn Cross got it out. Roman Josi. Philip Forsberg. Hiller leaves that for Giordano. Next time Jonas Hiller has given up 2 goals in his last 5 starts as he covers up the puck for a faceoff.
Star of the Nashville Predators, Shea Weber. We talked about how much ice time he's going to have tonight, and there it is. Since 2010, only Suter has more ice time. I was going to say Gary, and of course it's Ryan. 26:08 a night. I expect today we're going to see ballpark about 28 to 30, depending on. He's at 17:20 right now, so it's not going to be an easy night for Shea Weber. He wouldn't expect an easy night. He wouldn't want one.
Easy.
No.
Old partner in crime, Ryan Suter, at the top of that stat. I mean, hard to believe those guys played together as long as they did. How good was that? There's a shot from the point by Wilson that never got through. Hit a skate in front of the goal. Right now, it's all Nashville.
Yeah.
Even though the shots are still in favor of Calgary, but the pressure has been, for the last 10 minutes, in the Calgary zone, pretty much exclusively, Kelly.
Good cycle, showing their quickness in the offensive zone.
Shot goes wide. Jokinen pulling the trigger. Back to it, behind the net for Wilson. Watched by Granlund, loose puck off the outside of the net. Still sits there, Granlund puts it up the boards. Ekholm keeps the play alive. Colin Wilson battling with Marcus Granlund. Wilson gets it behind the net, thrown up front. Shot deflects off the skate of Englund and all the way out over the blue line. Both teams change. 3 minutes left in the period.
That's a 24th block shot by the Calgary Flames.
Weidman to it, drops it back to Chris Russell off the boards, gets it under the stick of Smith, and here go the Flames. 3 of them over the line. McGrattan with a chance, shoots high. Bouncer off the glass, puck winds up in the corner. Boma's there Down low for McGrattan. He's all tied up by Ekholm.
There you go. That's what they need. Just fight for pucks down low.
Shot by Bollig, stopped by Rene after a nice bit of work down low by McGrattan and Boma, but Rene makes the save and he's able to hang on. As the crowd disperses in the Nashville crease, Predators 2 and the Flames 1 in Calgary. Halloween night in Calgary.
Why do you say that?
Well, if it's not, somebody better call the medical examiner. There's an outbreak of something. Flames looking to make this a happy Halloween right now, find themselves down by a goal with 2:10 left in the second period. Gaustad. Bank pass to Weber with the one-timer, deflected, Hiller save. Rebound is played back to the top of the circle where Blancross knocks it into the corner. More pressure again by the Preds. Puck comes to the near side. Russell's there to Jones. And he's able to clear the zone. Pass for Monahan, doesn't connect. Weber back the other way quickly to Nystrom over the line with a wrist shot wide. Gaustad cuts that off. Puck bounces to Jones, but before he can reach it, poked away by Nystrom. Josi will try a shot, deflected in front of the goal by Forsberg, and a nice save by Hiller. And finally, Blancross able to relieve pressure as he flips that out. David Jones headed that in by accident, but it worked. He winds up with the puck again. Jones with a shot, stopped by Rene. On a giveaway by the Preds, David Jones had a chance to equalize as Neal gets control at center ice and dumps the puck in for Nashville. Philip Forsberg bumping with TJ Brody. Brody wins the battle. Feeds it ahead for Michael Ferland. Cuts over the blue line for Granlund. Pass intercepted by Ribeiro coming back hard. Mike Ribeiro works it out.
There's 1 minute remaining.
Final minute of play in the second. Giordano stands up Neal. Got knocked down and still made the play to clear the zone. Here goes Hudler by himself. Granlund joins the rush now. Drop pass for Volchenkov doesn't pay off, but in behind the play, we get a whistle as Ferland's down on the ice.
Well, I didn't see what happened, Rick. I was following Yuri Hudler with the puck. Take a look. He gets shot up high from Volchenkov. I was wondering because it looked as though he was moving his jaw when he was down on the ice. Ooh, that's a pretty nasty hit.
An elbow right to the side of the head by Volchenkov. I don't think there's a penalty coming up.
Boy, he got a good elbow, stiff forearm. Well, if they're trying to eliminate those kind of hits, is that the same as Alex Burrows and he got 3 games yesterday, or is that, how would you consider this?
That one certainly looked more egregious to me. I'm talking about Volchenkov. So that was a direct shot to the head behind the play.
Absolutely. Now he's trying to explain to his teammates how it happened, what his intent was, but nonetheless.
You surprised by that suspension to Burrows?
Yes, I was. I didn't expect it to be. First of all, I didn't think he'd get suspended. Secondly, I didn't think it'd be 3 games. And if he is, then I can't see how this one isn't, at least that. But, well, they can always review it after the game.
Yeah, Burrows wasn't penalized on that play either. In fact, it led to a goal for Vancouver.
If anything, it was a bit of a late hit.
It was late, yes. Final 25 seconds of the period. And a good one for Nashville. Here's Smith over the line. Nice play. Wilson trying to pull it between his feet. Lost the puck. Gets it behind the net. Comes out the other side. Watched by Brody. Byron takes the puck away. He'll fire around to Goodrow, who's able to clear the zone. And that should do it. Final seconds ticking down as Josi retreats into his own end. Second period comes to an end. Calgary outshoots Nashville 20-17 over 40 minutes, but the Preds lead where it counts. Nashville 2, and the Flames 1 after 40 minutes in Calgary.
Very dominant second period by the Predators. They lead 2-1. Eric Francis rejoins us at this time. Well, Flames are hopeful Michael Ferland is okay making his debut in the NHL. Interesting ways and means of getting here, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, most players who've made the NHL have that interesting story about their call-up, and his is no different. He was fishing yesterday in Adirondacks with Mark Kandari, one of his teammates, got a phone call, actually got 10 of them. Didn't check his phone for a couple of hours while he was fishing, then realized, oh Lord, the whole hockey organization is trying to get a hold of me. They told him he was getting his call up, jumped in a car for 2.5 hours, made it to Montreal, got to Calgary at 1:30 in the morning. It's so important that Michael Ferland shows himself well here, because with his size, he can be such a key addition to this lineup. Not only does he have, good hands and a finishing ability, he's their leading scorer down on the farm, but also he brings that size that they need in this lineup. I spoke in the first intermission about how they need a little bit more muscle to protect guys like Johnny Gaudreau. He could be that guy. Let's hope that hit right there that kind of ended his period isn't something that ends his little stay here in Calgary.
Well, we'll see how he is shortly. Well, I want to compliment you on your costume. It's as good as I've seen you ever do. But Halloween stories, there's lots this week, right?
Yeah, you know what? Everybody in the crowd, not everybody, but a lot of people in the crowd are getting into it. But I also think it's interesting that the players always get into it. I asked guys around the dressing room all week, who's legendary in this room? Who puts up the great costumes? McGrattan last year went as a female fitness instructor. It was a big hit. The year before, Chris Butler went as Mark Giordano's toe, complete with a corn on it and some blisters. It was a big hit. My favorite, though, is Chris Butler. A couple years ago, went in New Zealand All Blacks with 4 other rugby players. Every time someone walked in the door for the party, they would throw him the ball, and the unsuspecting person was immediately tackled by all 5 members of the rugby team. The boys like to have fun. Unfortunately, the way the schedule lands this year, no team Halloween party. The boys are very sad.
That's the way it goes. Next year, they'll go as Eric Francis. Kelly, Rick, yours.
Be the hottest costume with all the kids next year, I think, Kelly.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The Francis.
Yeah, I played with Wayne Gretzky one time in L.A., and he knew Michael Keaton personally, so he had the actual Batman outfit. That's unfair.
You're not allowed to do that, are you?
No, you can't do that. Like, honestly.
It's got to be something you fabricate out of your closet.
Totally.
You can't just go to some Hollywood costume designer and buy the real thing.
Well, the real, and Janet had the Batwoman. I mean,
that's
ridiculous.
Flames looking for the equalizer early in the third. There's Gaudreau with a shot that whistles wide, looking glove side on Pacarine. Wilson gets it ahead, and Beck clears the zone. Weber racing after it. Weidman knocks it away from him. Weber gets it back to Beck. Beck over the line with a shot. That didn't miss by much. Clanks off the end board glass. Chris Russell behind the net takes his time and plays the puck to the corner. It doesn't work. Miscommunication with Weidman. Stolen by Wilson out front, looking for Jokinen. Play broken up by Russell. Here goes Hudler back the other way, all by himself as the Flames start a change. Hudler fires it across. Glencross racing onto it. Yossi there as well. They bump in the corner. Both go down as the Predators take control. James Neal, who had the go-ahead goal in the second period, able to clear the zone. TJ Brodie there. FYI, didn't look like Ferland came out to start the third period, Kelly.
No, we haven't seen him yet.
He's on the bench, but we'll keep an eye as the Flames wind up icing the puck. Let's check the second period scoring summary brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago.
Early, Sean Monahan puts the Flames up 1-0. Then shortly after that, Smith ties it up, and at that point, it was all Nashville for the rest of the period. They dominated the Calgary Flames for the last 15 minutes, including a James Neal goal. So it's 2-1 as it stands right now for Nashville.
Yeah, Flames lead lasted all of a minute and 7 seconds, and the shots don't tell the story that offensive zone possession was all Nashville in the second half of that period. They try to go to work again in the Calgary end, but Giordano, nice play on Nystrom, knocks him off the puck, and it's Monahan who wheels through center ice. Sean Monahan fires the puck in. Glencross trying to get there. Can't get it. Puck comes all the way out to the neutral zone where Giordano plays it across to his partner, TJ Brodie. Winds up going off the stick of Glencross, not a play. As once more we go downstairs. Here's Roger.
Rick, tonight's Safeway $1 Million Score and Win Grand Prize winner will receive a all-inclusive trip for 2 to the Grand Bahia Principe Resort, courtesy of redtag.ca or Canada Shops for great travel deals. Tonight's Grand Prize winner is Richard Ressler of Medicine Hat. Yahoo! Shop at Safeway today. You could be our next lucky winner.
Thanks, Roger.
Roger with the nice Yahoo.
I don't know, for a Calgary guy, I expected more. Icing called on Nashville.
Oh, we're all supposed to say it just like John Wayne or something?
I hate to fall into the trap of stereotypes, Kelly, but...
Alrighty.
Partner.
I like it.
Face off to Rene's right. Byron on the draw against Ribeiro. They'll do it over again.
Coming into the third period, Nashville had won 64% of the face-off, so a lot of inexperience by the Calgary Flames with all the injuries.
And with another injury to Michael Ferland, all sorts of line juggling here as well. Setoguchi, Byron, and Beaumont together.
Yeah.
Could be a result of Ferland getting hurt and also Bob Hartley trying to find some chemistry. Seth Jones, 4th overall pick, 2013 draft, gets the puck to Ellis, who chips it off the glass and out. Played in by Neal, but this will be icing on Nashville. Weidman goes back and the whistle blows.
Rick, you talked earlier about Ellis and all his points in junior and so on, but I've been really impressed with his defensive positioning and reading the plays and also his gap control. He's been really good in that when the Flames trying that long stretch pass, he's right in the face of the Flames forward.
Update on Ferland. Upper body won't return, so tough break for Michael Ferland in his first NHL game. Took that elbow from Volchenkov late in the period. Flames work it in. Johnny Gaudreau trying to create something. It bounces back to the line to Giordano. 3 sets with a shot tipped by Gaudreau. Rene's down. They score the rebound. Woodrow put it in, and we're tied at 2.
Crafty little deflection right to the right of Rene. Puck's going to go back, just a little wrister. See Gaudreau right there, and that's what causes a problem for Rene, and he can't corral the rebound. That's just Johnny Gaudreau staying on the puck, fighting hard. Granlund, that clever play. We've heard a lot about Granlund and how smart he is, and he just throws it right over to Hoodler, and it is a tie game. This might give the Calgary Flames some life to get back in this.
So Granlund and Gaudreau get the helpers on the goal by Yuri Hoodler, his 3rd of the season, and we're all even early in the 3rd period. That's a big goal for Calgary, but Predators will try and push back here as Beck has the puck in deep, throws it up front, picked up by Englund. Lead pass hit Bollig, stolen by Jokinen. Wilson's out front, pass never got through, broken up. Beck corrals the loose puck, keeps the play alive in the offensive zone. Beck tied up by Byron, Setoguchi goes to it. Schmid takes control and has room to work the puck out himself over center ice. Long shot in, glove save Rene. He's going to play it himself, fires the puck out, looking to spark a break the other way as racing after it's Nystrom. Takes off the icing call. Eric Nystrom back to the line, one-timer Ellis. That hit traffic. It went off the foot of Schmid and he collapses in front of the goal. Schmid struggling back behind the play, and the whistle blows as another Flame goes down. Ladislav Schmid able to get up and make his way towards the bench.
He's quite the warrior, though, Schmid. He's had many of those in his career. Certainly not shy in blocking shots, throwing his body in front of him. Right in front. Right off the foot, there's no question about that. And then here's this Rene play. He's so patient with that. He was working on that play this morning by himself. I was really impressed how quickly he can loft that puck.
Off the draw, shot blockered away by Hiller. Flames get control. Weidman, Granlund, bank pass Hoodler. As the equalizer here in the 3rd. Hoodler ahead to Gaudreau. Gaudreau over the line, stops. Trying to feed a pass across, broken up by Gabriel Bourque, and here goes Nystrom the other way. Nystrom dumps the puck on goal. Easy stop for Hiller. Steers that to the boards. Puck cleared out. Long pass to Hoodler. Down the wing. Drops it off for Gaudreau. Back to Hoodler. Back to Gaudreau. Trying to tuck it in with the backhand. Stopped by Rene. He's down. The puck winds up in the corner. Another nice play by Gaudreau, and now he draws a penalty. Tripped up going to the corner, and the Flames with some momentum will be going on the power play.
Yuri Hoodler really set this up. This is his 4th time, I think, where he's been in good position for the long stretch pass. Right there, Hoodler reads the play, what's happening, throws it back, gets it back again, and then Gaudreau just dances in front of the net. You see the injury, or the penalty right here, there's no question. Stick into the skates. Ekholm goes off for 2 minutes or less.
Flames 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. Just the 2nd minor penalty taken by either team in this game. Face-off win for Monahan. Giordano to Monahan. Cross for Brody, right in tight, pass up, scores! May have banked in off Weber. Flames take a 3-2 lead with a power play goal.
You're not going to win all the face-offs, but if you win the key ones, certainly beneficial. There's Monahan on the power play. Gets it back. It's going to go over to Brody. Brody sneaks in, and there's the deflection off the foot of Weber. He's trying to take away that cross-crease pass to Jones. There's nothing Rinne can do on that play. That's just a good read by Brody to jump into the play. What a turn of events. Thoroughly outclassed the last 15 minutes of the second, and now it's 3-2, just under 5 minutes played here in the third period.
And Kelly, they went 0 for 7 on the power play against Montreal, which is a big reason they couldn't pull out that game. And then tonight they're 2 for 2, and they have the lead as Wyman gets a shot away. Rinne covers up. Got a quick whistle. It's a break for the Preds. Check our score and win winners. Courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Shredded Cheese. Chris Harper of Calgary has won a Blu-ray prize pack from E1 on the goal by Hoodler, and then the power play goal by TJ Brody means by shopping at Safeway, Amber Lesage of Calgary's won a Hoover Air cordless vacuum courtesy of Safeway. So just like that, the Flames find themselves back on top. They were only able to protect the lead the first time. They got it for just over a minute. How about Johnny Gaudreau? Kelly, we wondered if he'd have the kind of room he had against Montreal against this great Nashville defense, and he's just picked up where he left off last game.
I think he's created more chances.
Barrel with a shot. Hiller makes the save. Brody corrals the rebound and circles the net. Goes back the other way with Neal on his tail. Brody, Monahan. Weber breaks that up. Here comes Neal with numbers. Neal plays it up front, deflected away. A good play by Russell. David Jones, 3 Flames through center on a 3-on-2. Jones with Monahan up front. Pass. Weber lifted Monahan's stick as it goes harmlessly to the other side. Shea Weber trying to clear. Having trouble. Gets help from his partner, Yossi. Head to James Neal. Back to Yossi over the line. Yossi swings wide. Shot deflects wide. Russell gets the puck off the end boards to Glencross. Can't clear. Second chance. This time Glencross gets the puck out to center ice. Beck blasts it in. Hiller stops it behind the net. 6 minutes gone in the third. Flames up 3-2. Hoodler looking for a second. Knocked off a stick. Granlund couldn't get there. Beck able to work it out. Johnny Gaudreau cut him off. Hoodler gets the loose puck at the line. Circles in his own zone. Ahead to Gaudreau. Back for Hoodler. Intercepted by Beck, and he'll play it in. Derek Englund to it. Vladislav Schmid okay after that shot block. Hobbled him off the ice last shift. Gaudreau now. Over the line. Down the wing. Shot. Scores! I don't know how he found it, but there is room over Rinne's shoulder, and it's 4-2 Calgary.
Impressive strength by Gaudreau. Craig Smith's going to come behind and almost pickpocket him, but he's just really strong in a stick right there, Gaudreau, and then he throws it from a bad angle. And I'm not sure if it hits the defenseman, Ryan Ellis, or Pekka Rinne used his catching glove on the opposite side of his body to reach for that save. Very awkward.
Well, we came into this game, Kelly, singing the praises of the goaltenders on both these teams. We've had 6 goals.
I know, much to our surprise.
Yep.
Introducing the new BF Goodrich KO2 tire. BF Goodrich. Take control.
Second of the season for Gaudreau. Englund picks up the only helper on this goal by Johnny Gaudreau.
You know, I think that may have touched a stick of Ryan Ellis. Just at the exact moment that Gaudreau released the shot, it may have hit the stick of Ellis, because that was such an awkward save attempt by Rinne. You wouldn't normally see a National Hockey League goaltender. There it is.
Yep.
I was wondering because there's no way a goaltender is going to try and reach across his body on a shot like that.
And it did wind up going over his shoulder, but I think you're right. I think it might have deflected off of Ellis' stick. Goodrow's right back out there. Feathers one through. Granlund couldn't corral it. Russell will. Tipped by Granlund. Glove saved by Rinne. So the Predators find themselves back on their heels. The Flames have taken the lead. 4-2 Calgary in the third. Another goal, another winner. Wesley Chenery of Lethbridge shopped at Safeway on behalf of Safeway and Kraft shredded cheese. Wesley, you've won a Garmin Verb Elite HD action camera.
And the keys to the game, make Weber work. Well, mission accomplished for the Calgary Flames. I think they've limited his effectiveness, and for the Predators continue to attack. Well, I would say for the Predators, that's a fail. They had the Flames. They're clearly controlling the play. And now they quickly find themselves down 4-2, and it's their fault.
Keys to the game brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. 3 unanswered goals in the third for Calgary. They're up 4-2. Granlund dumps the puck in. Another solid night for Johnny Gaudreau. A goal and an assist, and he's had maybe his best chance. Didn't score on it early in the game.
What a move that was.
Around Volchenkov. Here's Beck trying to answer back with a shot. Goes off the foot of Schmid. Thrown back out front by Weber in deep. That was blocked by Hiller. Big bouncing puck winds up behind the net. Played back to the point. Jokinen can't get there. Has to regroup at center ice. Roman Josi. Out through the neutral zone. Trying to play it to Beck. Broken up by Glencross. And feeds it across to Derek Englund. David Jones tips it in. Stopped by Rinne. Long pass by the Nashville goalie. Neal over the line, crisscrossing with Rivera, but Giordano didn't bite, stole the puck. Sean Monahan, pressured by Neal. That forces Brody back. His clear out hit the referee. Puck comes to the line, Ellis. Works it across. Ekholm will work it down the boards, trying to feed one through from the corner. That was blocked. Ekholm and Setoguchi battle. Good work by Setoguchi to knock him off the puck. That allows Giordano to clear.
Good body positioning.
Brody's pass ahead to Setoguchi. Blank cross over the line up front for Setoguchi, intercepted by Ellis, who finds Ribeiro. Feeds it across. Ekholm up on the rush. Drops it off for Neal. Wrister blocked. Second shot got through. Hiller made the save on the short side. And Mark Giordano tries to settle things down, able to roll it off the boards and down the ice. Might be icing. Boma tries to beat Jones. Can't do it. Jones hustles back for the icing call.
Johnny Gaudreau, another great night. Let's take a look at some of his highlights. No surprise we're going to show this one. Dance right around Volchenkov. He's going to pick up an assist on this nice little deflection and keep the play alive. And then lastly, the goal that made it 4-2. Little wrister from the corner, deflected, and that beats Rinne.
Shot by Jones, didn't get through. Cullen keeps the play alive in the offensive zone. That shot off the boards by Craig Smith, blocked by Weidman. And Boma will tip the puck in for Calgary. You know, the most impressive thing, I think you touched on, Kelly, on that Gaudreau goal was his ability to fight off the check.
Yep, totally.
He's not a big guy. He's got small hands, but stronger than he looks. There's a chance trying to tuck it in on Hiller as he's able to keep the play, or keep the puck out as the net comes off the pegs for a whistle.
Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames.
Derek Roy gets a good chance because he uses his speed here, then just drives wide, goes to the net. Nice little backhand right there, but I like how Hiller anchors himself to the ice. Net was dislodged. The Predators, I'm sure, were arguing that it might have been a penalty.
Except the faceoff comes outside the zone.
Right.
So there we go. Nashville knocked it off.
Yep.
And Shea Weber firing the puck in. And we get a whistle. Is there a penalty?
There is.
Interference call on Calgary. So midway through the third, Predators get their first power play of the game.
Look, it's at the top of the frame, so yeah, there's no question. Gary Hoodler interfered with the Nashville Predators on that dump in.
So Hoodler sits. Predators power play goes to work. Has not been good this year. There's 2 for 27, 7.4%. Which is hard to believe when you've got Shea Weber back there firing the puck. And Josi as well bounces that one on goal. Hiller's down, makes the save. Puck winds up in the corner. Boma's lost his stick. There's Cullen. Bowman tries to get his stick back. Puck comes to him. And now it's worked up by Byron. Byron trying to get around. Josi recovers to knock the puck away.
Did he ever recover nicely? It looked as though Byron had a jump on him.
James Neal through center. Philip Forsberg now works it in. Stops just inside the line. Cross to Cullen. Slap shot. That deflects wide. Hiller may have gotten a piece of it. Cullen gets it back. Over to Josi. Have not seen Weber on this power play. There's Josi. Forsberg's pass blocked by Englund. Ribeiro. There's Josi at the point with a shot. Steered aside by Hiller. Cullen. Right side. Back to the line to Josi. Josi to Cullen. Josi. Cullen. Play catch. Here's Forsberg. Out front. Hiller turned that aside. He changed direction too. Nice save by Hiller. Here's Neal off the boards with a wrister. Scores! James Neal. Second of the game comes on the power play, and the Predators within 1.
We saw it in his first goal of the game. James Neal has a world-class release. He loves to attack the net. You don't have to convince him to take the puck hard to the net. Here it is. He just escapes the coverage, goes right to the front. There's a little bit of traffic, and he just roofs that. He's known for having that quick release, and we've seen at least 4 or 5 great examples of it tonight.
7th goal of the season for Neal, 2nd tonight. Cullen and Forsberg get the helpers. Power play goal for Nashville. Flames lead down to 4-3 past the midway mark of the 3rd period. Weidman pass to Gaudreau. Rene clears. Granlund to Gaudreau. For Hoodler. Couldn't take it. It was in his skates. Matthias Ekholm. Eric Nystrom. Play broken up. Bouncer at the Nashville bench. Somebody touched it there. Whistle blows. We'll take a break. 8:48 to go in the 3rd. 7 goals between these teams. Flames up 4-3 in Calgary.
Well, tune in to Boomer and Warner Monday morning as they break down the weekend's games on their way. Only on Sportsnet 960 The Fan, official radio broadcaster of your Calgary Flames.
Well, Kelly, somebody said in the pregame show, I forget who it was, that it's in a game when you expect it to be low scoring with 2 of the hottest goalies in the league, you might just get what you don't expect. At 4-3, I don't think anybody expected tonight between the Flames and the Predators.
I didn't. I thought the way both goaltenders are playing and defensively both teams, that certainly we wouldn't see 7 goals and only on very few shots, 57 shots. It's not as though we're 40 shots each by both teams. 3
of the 7 goals in the power play. There have only been 3 power plays.
Yeah.
Setaguchi trying to work it out front. Josi cuts him off. Flames up by 1. By the way, 3rd periods have been the best periods for both these teams this season. Calgary came into this period down 2-1, scored 3 unanswered goals, but moments ago, James Neal with a power play marker gets the Predators back within 1. Here comes Craig Smith down the wing. Drops it off for Roy. Back to Smith. Circles the net. Volchenkov having trouble at the line. And Brody there to play it to Glenn Cross. David Jones. Down the wing. Seth Jones. Knocks the stick out of David Jones' hands. Volchenkov plays the puck around. And here goes Philip Forsberg with numbers through center. Forsberg looking for the return pass from Ribeiro. That was blocked by Brody. Forsberg for Smith. That's tipped away. Forsberg gets it back. Suddenly Nashville has some life. Shot never got through. Giordano got in the way of that one. Mike Ribeiro. Seth Jones. Plays the puck down low. Jones back at the line. Can't keep the play onside, and it bounces back to the Nashville end.
The experience of Mike Ribeiro right there, boy. He was so hard to take the puck off.
Ellis goes back to it. Ekholm with a pass to Jokinen, who tips it in. Hiller can't stop it behind the net. Jokinen back to the line. Ekholm with a shot. That goes wide of the goal. Ellis over to it. Beats it behind the net to Jokinen. Mike Ribeiro now. Back to the blue line. Mattias Ekholm. Puck thrown out front of the goal. That bounces out of the corner past the point. Ellis can't keep it onside. He'll head back to his own zone.
Lots of puck possession by the Predators. Just no shots at the net.
Reds dump it in. Puck comes to Jokinen. Roller can't settle it down. Weber does, but his pass to Josi comes outside the zone. Setoguchi tips it in as Weber goes back. Approaching the final 6 minutes of regulation. Flames up by 1. Looking to finish off this 5-game homestand with a 2-1-2 record, but Nashville with other ideas. Beck's rush broken up by Russell. Boma runs into a crowd, but the puck comes to Byron, trying to get in home free. Byron right in, stopped by Rene, who's able to cover up for a face-off. 5:53 to go in the third. Another great chance for Calgary to make it a 2-goal lead, but Byron stoned by Rene on this chance here. The game review is brought to you by Intact Insurance Company, proud to partner with the Calgary Flames. Kelly?
Sean Monahan with a goal and an assist. Pretty good night overall. Johnny Gaudreau, of course, goal and assist, 3 points last 2 games. And I love our clever production team coming up with the bottom one, the scary power play on this Halloween evening. Way to go, team.
Maybe the penalty killing's been scary.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches would think that.
Because the power plays for both these teams operating at 100% this game. 4-3 Calgary leads. You know, Bob Hartley said the game against Montreal, Johnny Gaudreau was their best forward. I think he got a pretty good case again tonight. There's a shot by Weber that whistles wide of the goal.
I would agree that.
Glenn Cross able to chip it out. Philip Forsberg back the other way. Josi joins him on the rush, throws it out front. Giordano broke it up, bounced off a skate back to Hiller, who covers up for a face-off.
Jonas Hiller's one of those nights where you don't get a lot of action. He had a lot of quality shots. So you just have to find a way to battle through these nights. Not every night you're going to look like Jacques Plante or one of the heroes of the game. You got to find a way to win these games when you're not at your absolute best.
Up 1-0 or 4-3. It's still a 1-goal lead. So
that's what separates good goaltenders from the average ones, when you can win a game when you're not at your best.
Last 4 starts, Hiller had stopped 117 of 120 shots. 3 on 29 tonight, but Flames with the lead, 5:17 left in the third period. It's been an impressive comeback against a very good Nashville team. Calgary down after 2. 3 unanswered goals to go up 4-2. And then the Neal goal in the power play to pull them within 1, as we have a conversation going on over at the Calgary bench between the officials and some of the Flames staff. I'm not sure what's going on over there, Kelly. Any idea?
Looks like it's Ian Walsh, referee. I'm sure they'll be aware of the time also. Only 5:17 left.
Is there one of the officials had an equipment problem maybe, or?
It would seem so, yeah.
Another Halloween mystery, Kelly. Predators get the draw. Jones with a shot that didn't make its way through. Roy had it knocked off his stick, but a shot by Craig Smith deflects over the glass, not a play into the netting.
Smith, what a player he's turned out to be. Big, rugged guy with great hands, knows his role, loves to go to the front of the net, quick release. It's a fun player to watch.
Off the draw, Weidman chips it ahead, and puck fired out by Hudler. Gaudreau knocked it down, but it was taken away. Seth Jones will work it to Ryan Ellis. Lead pass. Granlund deflected that, but it goes right across to Cullen with a slap shot. Blocked by Weidman, who got down in front of that one. Craig Smith behind the net for Cullen. Matt Cullen turning. Derek Roy. Ellis. Jones. Wrister. Put it wide. Roy picks it up on the near side. Cullen behind the net. Weidman beats Smith to it. Off the boards. Hudler trying to clear. Second chance, able to poke it out. 4:20 left in the third. Granlund back. Chris Russell slowly finds Glenn Cross, who tipped it in. Swatted down by Weber. But there's a giveaway by Yossi. Right to Monahan just off the bench. Sharp angle shot. Rene makes the save as he got down on that Glenn Cross shot. Puck comes to the line. Now it's chopped up by Weber. Bouncer at the Calgary line. Neal with speed. Looking for the hat trick. Backhand shot. Stopped by Hilly with a glove, and he's able to scoop it up for a whistle.
This is a better save than it looked. This is a real dangerous play. We all know how dangerous backhand shots can be. Driving hard to the net. Neal, that may have even deflected a little bit off Giordano's stick, but Hiller's, with his 6'2" body, is just in really good position to take away any openings on that short side.
James Neal, 2 goals. He's had 16 shot attempts, 7 on net. Here's a 2-on-1 chance. Glenn Cross with Monahan trying to feed it to Giordano, the trainer, and that was broken up. Back come the Predators. Weber's up on the rush. Weber's shot deflects off the stick of Jones, and they're going to say that went over the glass as we get a whistle.
We're going to see quite a bit of this now. The Predators' defense have any inkling that they're going to keep the puck in, they're going to pinch. So Weber's reading the play right there. Jones does a nice job chipping it out. It leads to a 2-on-1, but Predators came back in good position right there. It's a nice stick by Ribeiro, but we're going to see a lot of that in the next 3.5 minutes.
Off the draw, Byron gets control. He'll lead the rush through center over the line. Has Boma with him along with Setoguchi. Pass didn't connect with Setoguchi. Byron hustles over to keep the play alive in the offensive zone. Trying to play it back to Setoguchi. That's tipped away, and here goes Beck. Down the ice for Nashville. Slides that on goal. Hiller taking no chances. Covers up with 3:15 to go in regulation time.
Taylor Beck, smart play right here. They're going to get a change. What he's going to do is just put it on net, and he knows Hiller's going to stop this and hold it for a face-off in the Flame zone. That's a smart play. Taylor Beck, I've been impressed with, Rick. When we were there a couple weeks ago, he was on the 4th line with Nystrom and Gossett. He's moved up a spot, now playing with Wilson Jokinen. His hockey sense is evident. 3rd round pick at 09 out of the Guelph Storm in the Ontario Hockey League.
Derek Roy out there for the face-off against Marcus Granlund. Preds win it. Ellis works it down the boards, looks out front, plays it behind the net instead to Cullen. Tipped it up front to Roy, knocked off his stick by Goodrow. Kept in by Ekholm. Cullen, sharp angle shot off the outside of the net. Puck bounces back to the corner. Matthias Ekholm behind the net for Matt Cullen. Craig Smith to it. Ryan Ellis with a quick shot, that's wide. Roy picks it up behind the goal, trying to come up on the backhand pass to Cullen, bounces around off a couple of sets of feet. Finally Russell's there to clear it off the boards and down the ice. You're right on net, so no icing on the play. And Goodrow forces Rene to pick up the puck and hang on.
What a unique way to put the puck in your glove from ice level. Rene right here, he just simply, whoop, here we go, lofts it into his glove, calm as can be. You don't normally see a goaltender do that. The potential for bad to happen exists. I'm not going to say it's great, but it certainly exists.
That's what you do when you're our age, Kelly. You don't want to bend over, you know. I don't think Rene has to do that.
Right.
Here goes Ribeiro into the zone, looking for the equalizer. Tied up by Giordano. Weber up on the play. Pass deflects off the stick of Glenn Cross, not a play.
Telus Flames Hockey. Brought to you by Telus, the future is friendly.
Well, the Flames, with a great start to this third period, built a 2-goal lead. They're up by 1, and now we'll see if they can shut it down against a Nashville team that's putting on some pressure late in this game, Kelly.
There are a lot of broken plays, too. You have the feeling that there's going to be some awkward play at the front of the net that might lead to a scoring chance or two for Nashville.
Flames clear the zone. We'll start a change. Weber back to it. Roman Josi. Dump it in. Giordano wires it up the boards for Setoguchi, who tipped it down the ice, but this is going to be icing on Calgary. Inside 2 minutes to go. We'll keep an eye on Pekka Rinne.
Lance Boma in the face-off circle right now. Job number 1, I'm sorry, it's going to be Paul Byron in there. Don't lose the face-off cleanly. Let one of your teammates come in and fight for it.
Byron against Roy, who gets waved. Cullen comes in, directs traffic, moves Ellis. Jones drops back to the line. Face-off win back to Seth Jones. Slap shot, and getting in the way of that is Boma, who deflects that out of play. Broke his stick doing it.
Shouldn't be surprised. The Preds did win the face-off back to Jones, but take a look at the effort by Bowman to get out there quickly and sacrifice his body, which he does on a daily basis. 35 block shots by the Calgary Flames. In fact, I was talking to somebody involved with the National Predators organization in the second intermission. That's something they commented on, how many shots the Calgary Flames are willing to block.
Rene's on the bench for the extra attacker. Empty net in the Nashville zone. Brody will bank it out. Seth Jones gets back. Shots dead even at 30. Here goes Neal. He's got 2 tonight. Pass deflects off a stick. Ribeiro didn't see it. Jones works it out to Glenn Cross. Stood up at the line. Jones trying to get it in. That deflects off a stick into the corner where it's picked up by Philip Forsberg. Monahan pressures. Now he'll retreat. Ryan Ellis. Craig Smith. Play broken up. Preds have to regroup as the crowd comes alive on Halloween night in Calgary. Final minute of play in the third. Jones, Smith, slapper, easy stop. Giordano off the glass. Weber kept it onside. Loose puck at the line, but it was gloved ahead by Weber. Ribeiro touched it. Complains, but it draws a whistle with 49.5 seconds to go.
Real smart play by Curtis Glencross when the Predators' James Neal was trying to enter the Flames zone. Good speed right there, but Glencross was just in great position, stick on stick. Good smart play by the veteran.
So Paul Byron converted to center tonight, although he played a lot of center in junior.
Right.
With all the injuries, out there for a key faceoff again in the neutral zone. Against Cullen, clean win for Byron. Chris Russell banks it out. Dumped back in by Wilson. Hiller out of the goal. A little stick handling. I don't think that's the guy you want handling the puck down low. Hiller gets back into the crease. Byron flips it ahead for Hoodler. Hoodler off a leg and out to center ice. 30 seconds to go. Shea Weber. Wilson back to Weber. Colin Wilson. Bank pass. Cullen back to Wilson. Ran into traffic. Loose puck. Weber shoots. Blocked nicely by Russell. And he clears the zone. Chris Russell, one of the best in the league this season doing that. Makes a good play. No icing. Yossi back. 5 seconds left. Launch shot wide of the goal. This would be icing on Nashville with 1.4 to go, and that will do it.
I will say the Calgary Flames gutted that one out. That's not the prettiest win, but it doesn't matter. You're going to have to find a way and learn a way to win the ugly ones, and that's exactly what they did. Should be proud of themselves. That's a good effort. Down a bunch of men due to injuries, and they found a way to get that one.
Gave up leads against Tampa Bay and against Montreal. Had to settle for single points in those games tonight. They come from behind in the third period. And it's just a formality now. Flames scored 3 in the third. And knock off the Predators for the second time this season. 4-3. Finish off this 5-game homestand at 2-1-2. And we'll open up a 5-game road trip in Montreal on Sunday.
And they played some pretty good hockey here in the Dome. We saw a wide open game Tuesday versus Montreal, then a little bit closer to the vest in this one. And if you're the Nashville Predators, you're leaving the ice very disappointed. They had this game, and then they let it slip. And that's one of those, after it happens, you're like, what just happened? We had this game, but it's a good learning lesson. They're 6-2 Nationals, so I'm sure they'll recover in Vancouver on Sunday.